G'day guys, welcome back. So today's theme is about horseradish. It's one of the gems that I have in my garden. Now I'll just bring you in for a close-up and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. So as you can see right now there, where my fingers are, doesn't look like much, but during the warmer months there's a lot of foliage. The leaves are very robust, and because it's winter, so it's in a dormant stage now. Now this can be considered as wasabi, because basically the wasabi that you eat in the shops in the tube is actually this stuff, and they make it into a paste and they add a green dye to it to make it look like a real wasabi. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull one out and we're going to sample it. So just stay tuned. I'll pull one out and I'll show you what it's all about. Okay, so this tuber has bulbed a little bit there, and all of these little root tails are edible too, but however they can be very fibrous. So what I'll do is I'll take it to the kitchen and we'll clean it up and process it. Okay, so this is the finished product. So today, to sample this, I'm thinking about sampling two different types of protein. Being that tuna is in season at the moment, so a bit of tuna sashimi would go quite nicely with this. And the other protein is possibly going to be a nice piece of steak, possibly a nice piece of Scotch fillet or Wagyu. So just to explain a little bit more about this too. Now this is from the same family as the wasabi. However, the difference between this and the wasabi is basically the wasabi is all green in the root part, and it's really not quite as expensive too, because for a piece of fresh wasabi of this size, you're looking at about $200 a pop. So, and this is nowhere near that price. And also, this is more of a hardier plant. It's not as susceptible to climate, because you can grow it in warmer weathers. Wasabi, it's only suited for colder climates. So being in Australia, the only place you can really grow this is in Tasmania, because I have tried to source out wasabi to grow here locally, but I've been told that it's not going to grow and you're not going to get any yield. So what we'll do now is I'm going to duck out, grab my tuna and steak, and we'll check in when it's time to eat. now that we've gathered the other two ingredients, so it's time for my favourite part of the review, the tasting. So just before we get into it, I'll just give you a quick rundown on what we have here. So you would have seen me cook that lovely piece of Scotch fillet. I'm just going to let it rest here while I prepare the other bit of protein. And right in the middle here, this is quite a delicacy. This is what is in season at the moment. It's bluefin tuna, but the belly part. It's also known as the toro. So I'm just going to cut a few slices of these and we'll present it up on the plate. Oh, that is sensational. And here we have a lovely piece of yellowfin tuna, the shoulder part. And this is what you'd find commonly in the sushi restaurants. So I'm just going to take a little chunk off. This is the most tender part of the tuna. You'd find that when you cut it for sushi or sashimi, the knife usually just glides through like butter. Last but not least, our Scotch fillet. So I'll slice this up. Oh, that's cooked lovely, nice and blue. And this is just a bit of seaweed salad, so we'll have it in between each different type of protein, just to cleanse the palate before we move on to the next one. So there you have it. This is my version of a surf and turf. As you know, like I've been the food alchemist. My cooking is always outside of the square. So you got your turf there and your surf. So without further ado, I'm going to go back into the tasting. Now today I've got a little special guest appearance. My youngest son here, Liam, and he's quite a food connoisseur himself. So how would we normally taste this? What are your?
For the tuna, if you're having it in sushi or sashimi, you don't put the wasabi into the soy sauce.
Okay.
Because that would just not make the wasabi taste and have its sweetness.
So how would you do it? So what are you going to do?
So you take the meat,
all right.
you take a little bit of wasabi.
Yeah. Did you want to try some of, so basically this is horseradish, right? Daddy
Put some wasabi.
Yeah, okay.
If you have any other condiments that you want to put on, put it on.
Did you want to try another piece of that separately, or are you going to do that? You're going to go all out? Alright, it packs a punch, mate. Can I just give you a bit of warning, yeah? Show us how it's done, buddy. Alright, there we go. Here's a bottle of sauce for you. A bit of soy there.
Yep, it's very good.
Very good. Yeah. Did you notice the difference between the fresh wasabi or the shop one? You didn't? Or you did?
Did.
You did?
This is sweeter.
How would you? Sweeter, is it? Okay.
Has more flavour.
Alright, I'll go in for a taste myself just to see what it has like. So I'm going to take my son's advice, not actually mix the horseradish with the soy sauce, but what I'm going to do is, as he suggested, I'm just going to go for, well, just only the horseradish, being that it's the start of the show today, and we'll see what it's like. Into the soy sauce there. The fresh horseradish is sensational. It's got all the features of the wasabi that you find in the store-bought variety. However, it's a lot more pungent and it has an extra crisp, like freshness to it. So I would highly recommend anyone that's interested in growing this to grow it because it is quite easy to grow. You would have seen in the earlier footage any of the pieces that I wanted to discard, I actually replanted them, and they, in turn, in a year's time, will become another tuber and your extra crop there. So I'm just going to go in just as a comparison to the store-bought wasabi too, just to see what it's like as well. So we'll go in for, I think I'll go for a bit of the Scotch fillet. There we go. Yeah, we'll see what it's like. Steak is cooked exactly how I like it. Blue, however, it is lovely, but definitely does not compare to the fresh horseradish. So once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And thanks for watching. Until the next one, bye for now.
What's this? Salad?
That's bluefin belly.
That's the for you two guys.
Okay, enjoy. My children.
What's that?
That's this is like fresh wasabi.
Oh.
That's that. See, like all the store-bought wasabi you buy is actually that stuff, and they put blue colour in it to make it look. Because real wasabi is green actually.
And
But
real wasabi tastes sweet, right?
no,
It's sweet.
yeah,
It is.
I've had it once, and that was a long time ago. But yeah, it is sensational. But actually, when you have this, you're gonna love it. It's mad.